Microphones are hot.
So hot.
So hot. I used to say, just don't say anything, but then everyone started talking. So, we're counting down.
Just sipping the tea.
This is like waiting for Santa.
Waiting for those jingle bells.
Hey everybody, welcome to Christmas Summit Podcast on Christmas Aficionado. We all know that it's better to give than to receive, but Christmas means one thing when you're a kid: toys. Waking up on Christmas morning super early, we ran to see the presents under the tree, and nothing's more exciting than opening that present and seeing the special toy we asked Santa for. The question is, now as adults, do you still have that toy? Well, I'm joined by some special guests who will each show off what we still have and discuss what we never got. And spoiler alert, I could not find any women for this podcast who held on to their toys. I actually asked around, came up with no luck, but no worries. I predict we'll do this again. And if you love Christmas and have a podcast or YouTube channel, reach out to me. And especially if you have some of your old toys. With that, let's welcome my guests for tonight. Hey guys, welcome to Christmas Summit Podcast. Up first is Scott from the Tinsel podcast, which goes into great detail about Christmas music with fun and interesting facts. He's also co-host of the Christmas Morning podcast, giving us a weekly dose of holiday cheer. I originally put in a request for TV Scotty, but he was unavailable. So we're going to have to settle for regular Scotty. Welcome, Scott. Before we talk about our Christmases as a kid, what did you get for Christmas this past year?
Norovirus. Yeah, 2 years in a row.
Oof.
I think next year I'm going to go out and intentionally get it around the 15th of December so that I'm clear and well again by Christmas Eve.
Well, that sucks. And you just now brought the whole podcast down.
That's what I'm here for.
That's why I wanted TV, Scotty. Anyways, well, hey, Scott, welcome. This is your first time here on the live on the broadcast. So, and then, of course, next to him is the guy who's invited to everybody's podcast and returning once again is Gerry from Totally Rad Christmas. If he was gnarly during the Christmas in the 80s, he's got it covered, and I guarantee you he's got all the 80s toys. So, Gerry, what is the toy you got for your kids, but you secretly bought for yourself?
Oh, easy. A ton of He-Man toys. So the Masters of the Universe line is being re-released as the Origins. So they're kind of copying the classic line, but just with a couple of added features here and there. But totally, I buy them for my son, and then we just play together. It's really, I'm just buying it for me.
Yeah, of course. That's how you do it, and that's how you get around. And that's how you get around from your when your wife says, "You bought more He-Man toys." No, I bought it for my son. Yeah.
For the children.
So next to Gerry's my friend Andy Jones from the Comment Lounge podcast and MillionairePlayboy.com. For years, I worked with Andy writing articles and reviewing all the latest toys. And with an extensive toy collection, I knew he would have saved some of his toys from Christmas. Welcome back, Andy. What's the one item you hinted to your wife that she didn't pick up for you this year?
A brand new 3D printer. I keep complaining about the one I have. I'm like, oh, if I had this new printer, things would be so much easier. You'd have more stuff.
She didn't get it for you?
Nope.
I think we all hinted at something and we didn't get it. I'm pretty sure that's usually how that works. So, and then last is John from Hit or Miss Hallmark Reviews, where they watch Hallmark movies and let us know if it was a hit or a miss. John, you gave me the idea for this episode, and so because of that, I think it's because you have something to show off. So we're looking forward to that. But John, welcome back. What is the practical gift you got for Christmas that you know you needed but didn't want?
Practical. You know, my mom doesn't really roll like that. Nobody in my family does. Everything is any practical stuff you get yourself because it's going to be boring. So we do our own stockings now. We do our socks and all the stuff. So pretty much everything was extra this year, I got to say.
Can I come to your
But
house?
I would say socks because socks I need every year.
Yeah.
You got to fill your own stocking with socks. Like
Yeah,
that's
you know, you
awesome
think-
and sad at the same time.
Awful.
Actually, yeah, my stocking had like just socks and System of a Down tickets. So it was a very expensive
Oh,
stocking.
that's a nice stocking. Yeah.
That is a good, nice one. So cool. Well, today, gentlemen, we are going to talk about the toys that we got for Christmas, and we are going to look at what we saved. We'll talk about what we didn't get, and then the things that we went out and bought as an adults, because that's what you do as an adult, and spend your money not on a car payment, but on that He-Man figure that you have to get. So, so we're going to start to talk about what is the toy you still have. And the cool thing about this is that everybody brought a toy that they wanted to share. I thought maybe I would go first just to show you a few things. And then we'll just kind of go down the line. So the first thing that I got for Christmas, this was probably 1985, I think I got. But it came out in the 1983. And I was a huge Lego guy, still am. But I got what's called the Galaxy Commander.
Oh,
Yeah, I had that.
Spaceship!
Awesome.
I think I had that too.
Yeah.
Spaceship!
Whoop, there goes
That's
a piece.
great.
Oh
yeah.
This was I'm trying to do this and talk at the same time, make sure it's in screen. But yeah, this was the holy grail for me of Lego space. I went over to my parents' house about, 10 years ago, and she has this giant bin of all our Legos, and I found the instructions. We actually still have the paper instructions too. And
awesome.
I dug through the bin until I found most of the pieces. There's a few pieces. Like I can't find another yellow one, so I'll have to go find that. But what was cool about this, if you remember, if you did have it, is that it broke up into 3 different parts.
Yes.
So the first part
yeah.
was like the fighter, and then it had of course it was awesome because it had
Are you gonna
2
demonstrate?
spacemen
Oh.
that you could go in. They would go in there, and then the
I
back.
totally remember that.
Yeah, and then the back would open up. Try not to drop it because and it would have like a little moon base thing that you could open up, and inside was a little computer for the guy, and then you could put all his air tank on it and everything.
I thought you were about to say Sputnik.
They also had like little crawlers that you could build.
LRV.
Yeah, yeah.
I 100%
rovers,
remember that set. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
little
lunar
rovers.
lander.
And I still have
That's awesome.
the base plate that it came with.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Those went
I-
so quickly.
yeah, this was like the Lego space was like my big thing in the mid 80s. Like I had a ton of sets. I wanted everything. I used to build, my version of Millennium Falcon and like the Last Starfighter and all that stuff. But then when
Yeah.
I saw this in the catalog, I was like, oh my God, that's got to be the coolest like Lego set, Next thing that I got, and it's not really anything that much interesting to look at, but was kind of fun to play until you realized you couldn't get very far in it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on NES.
Heck yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, one of the hardest
That
NES
was the
games.
worst.
Yeah, that one was
So,
rough. Loved it, but it was rough.
This was a game, and if you can see, it still says Fulton on it. My parents, we wrote our names on all our Nintendo games, just so that in case someone stole it.
Good for resale value.
But in 1989, this was the game to get. And I remember, my mom telling us, don't expect Santa to get this for you. It was sold out everywhere. It was like one of the hardest things to find. And we woke up on Christmas morning and it was right there. So that was really, really cool. then my last one that I have, and this is on somebody else's list, but I still have
Oh man,
my Matchbox.
that is awesome.
Lion
I'm furious.
Voltron.
I'm so furious right now.
I missed that. I had it and it was awesome. So
Does that
No,
one
yeah.
fit action figures, or is that the smaller one?
This is the smaller one. This is the die-cast metal one.
the die-cast metal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's rough. Like, you know, his the Black Lion's ear right here is broken.
Oh yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
All the chrome is pretty much worn away from here. But I still
You
have
didn't
the
give him a
sword.
touch-up?
But I still have the sword, which a lot of people
wow,
do not
that's
have
nuts.
anymore. This was a combination presents. So I didn't get this whole set for Christmas. I remember that my brother and I fought over everything. So my mom bought us at one point. I got the blue lion and he got like the yellow. Then I got the green and he got the red. And then on Christmas morning, 1985, the Black Lion was sitting in a box down there, and now we could actually, you know, build Voltron, which was awesome. So
Wow.
this,
I could never build Voltron, Joe. That's why I'm furious right now.
Oh.
I had the red one, I had the yellow one, and I had that middle piece. But so it was like I had an arm and a leg, and that was about it.
That's awful.
Well, the other
That's the
thing,
worst.
so we also had what was the LJN Voltron, which is that real crappy plastic one that did fit
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
figures.
Mhm.
We had
I had that one.
Yeah.
I had that one. Yeah.
And I still have it, but my mom won't let me bring it to my house because my nephews play with it. But we still have the vehicle Voltron as well from Matchbox.
Wow.
Yeah, not the
The
cool.
one that
That was
nobody
that was the
watched.
lame Voltron. Yeah, nobody.
Yeah, that's right.
But we still had it for some reason. My parents got us that for Christmas. So that was a lot of fun. So those are things that I still have. I mean, there's other things, but I thought these are the coolest things. So we got a lot of comments going on here. So Cal S says, awesome Lego spaceship. Daniela says, yeah, that's pretty cool, Joe. Lee says, evening, gentlemen. Pepper Tree Villa says, I love my Lego sets. And Lee, you're right. That game was unbeatable, and the underwater level music is haunting. I don't think I don't think I ever got past the first world. I mean, it was just trying to jump through the sewers.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I know what Lee's talking about with the getting shocked underwater. You had to make it through.
Oh, that's
Right.
like the source of my PTSD still to this day.
Yeah, and that game was a pale impression of the actual arcade TMNT. Like
The
I wanted
arcade
to
was
save,
awesome.
I wanted to save my money and own that. That was my
side-scrolling
kid
beat 'em up.
pipe dream. Yeah, and now as an adult, I have an arcade in the next room. I don't have a 4-player version of it, but I can play the Turtles arcade version, and a little piece of me is complete.
Yeah,
That's the dream right there.
I think. I mean, back then we didn't know what the game was like. I mean, it was unless it was in Nintendo Power. So yeah, when I remember getting it, I'm thinking, oh, this is the one where you fight go through the streets and fight everybody, and it wasn't. I mean, that came out later, but
we bought games on box art alone and a 1-inch by 1-inch square of one still from the game. Like, oh, this game is going to be incredible. I'm still mad at TNC Surf Designs for being such a crappy game.
Oh man, I wanted X-Men to be so awesome, that LJN X-Men, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still mad at Ninja Gaiden. I remember that was going to be that was going to be life changing for me. And I finally got it, and I was like, it's not what
I
it
still
was.
can't play it as an adult. It sucks.
Yeah.
Ryan Jacobson says, haha, nice hat, Andy. And Ben from Pepper Tree Villa, welcome.
So, Joe, I got a question for you.
Sure.
I was just searching. When I was doing some stuff during the pandemic, I tracked down some vintage of the Moonscape Lego base that had the craters on it.
Oh, that's
And
the plate with the craters on it. It undulates, right? I don't have a word for it.
Great, right? And I've got it somewhere in my basement. Can't find it right this minute. However, I've noticed with all the stuff they're bringing back, how come they have not brought back new versions of that moon base, like that moonscape. I've
Never
been to the
say
Lego
never.
store, I've been to Walmart, I've been online, and it's almost like they decided never to remake it. And I don't know.
Yeah,
Was it
we've lost
Hugo
the
as
Andy,
Lego
the
expert?
Maybe we
technology
lost
has
the
been lost,
technology.
Andy.
Yeah.
We simply
I knew
can't
somebody
create
was going to
these
go
plates
there. We had to-
anymore. Yeah, but Andy, I was just thinking about that because my wife is putting up. We don't put up a Christmas village that's all porcelain and everything. Ours is made of Lego, and we didn't do it at Christmas time because everybody in this house was sick. The norovirus ran through here like prairie fire. So she's putting it up now, and I said, yeah, by all means, do it. And I was thinking it would be fantastic if there were white versions of those plates that looked like snowdrifts, and it's not a far cry from where we were, but no, nothing like that exists, even on the black market.
Weird.
Yeah. Cool. Well, why don't we move on? Scott, we'll let you go next.
Okay, so we're gonna this would be the one that we still have, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the toy I brought for that is 1987's NES
Nice.
Advantage controller. And I'm holding this thing. This thing is 28 years old now. This thing is rock solid still to this day. They don't build them like this anymore.
So well built.
I mean, this thing's got to weigh 5 pounds. It's incredibly heavy and it's metal. I bet you if I plugged this thing in, it would still work. Maybe need a little contact cleaner on it or something. But I mean, it's a little bit of a cheat here because I don't still use this because I don't play with an actual NES anymore. I just use emulation. And I have some arcade machines and
but
stuff.
that one felt good. It would be nice to use.
Oh, it feels so incredible. Like I was just thinking, I wish this was my mouse, for my job or something. This would be so
Is it
nice.
still greasy from like eating pizza?
No, but there's an unidentified like stain on the bottom or missing metal, and I don't. Oh, hold on, there we go. I don't know how that could have possibly happened, but okay, it's a well-loved toy. I will never sell this thing. I mean, somebody in the chat could offer me $1,000 and don't, because you can buy it for like $70 or something on eBay. You can bury me with this toy. And I have a funny story. Joe, you asked us to bring one about this toy. Now, in 1987, I would have been 11 years old. And I think I was jaded on the idea of Santa at that point, but I had a younger sister, so we had to keep up appearances. I know for certain that I sat on Santa's lap and asked for this toy. But I also knew where my mom kept the Christmas gifts in the house. So here's the thing. We had this pantry downstairs. We had a raised ranch house, and underneath the stairs, there were spiders down there. And I kept up appearances like I was afraid of spiders because I knew she kept the toys in there. And right around 1987, there was this magical gift wrapping technology that came out at the time, and it was Mylar wrapping paper. And the thing about Mylar wrapping paper was you could pull the tape off and it wouldn't rip like paper. So all of the gifts were underneath the stairs, and they were wrapped in Mylar. And here's how naughty a kid I was. I actually unwrapped this exact joystick, brought it upstairs, played with it while my mom was at work one day, put it back in the wrapping, and acted completely surprised on Christmas morning for this. So I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that, but it's the truth.
My dad did the same thing with the Skittle bowling set.
I had Skittle bowling, the little guy, right? And it was the brown 2-piece. Yes. Yeah. So awesome. Joe, this is my treasured memory, even though I think I have an NES. It doesn't have a power supply. I could track one down and play with it if I wanted to, but I don't want to spoil the memory of this because I remember being 11 years old playing the Top Gun NES game, thinking I was so badass with this thing because it had the turbo button, and all I had to do was hold down, turn it on and hold down the button, and man, I was just firing.
Love the turbo button. I could beat Commando in like an hour with that thing on. Just never.
I am looking at it though. So you got player 1, player 2, select start. That I don't know what this slow button did.
I don't think it did anything.
Yeah.
I remember that not being like.
Yeah, it's
It's
some
useful
piece
help
of
for
information
precision.
that's lost to a previous
Cool.
civilization.
Still better
or
than the
something.
power
Some
glove,
games,
right?
there was precision. There are a couple games, like if you had to jump over a very specific thing and not hit like a spike wall, right?
Okay.
I don't remember this working, but the pitch was you could use it for precision, so that like
Okay.
when you're jerking the joystick, it's less pixels per. And that's what the pitch was. I don't have ironclad.
I was a
proof of what it
complete sucker for all advertising back then. I was an
Right.
impressionable. I'm still an impressionable
Oh,
adult,
yeah.
and I would have been sold on that. Like, I have to have this, Mom. Like, this is just a piece of required technology we need in this house.
So
It also controls the Statue of Liberty, right?
yeah,
That's what I
yes,
heard,
it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
And I
you
know
just
Jack-
thrown a
Jack-
reference
Only with
that I
Jackie
don't
Wilson,
remember.
right?
Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So
Lee is asking if anyone had the power glove. I did not have the power glove.
I
That
did
would
not.
be.
Thankfully,
would-
no.
It was
I
terrible, but I
did.
still. Oh, you did? Oh
I
my
did,
gosh,
and
John!
it
What was
did
it like
not
to be a
work.
Rockefeller?
I know. I wish I still had it because there's like a mod that you can do to like cut the wire and basically make it a MIDI controller. And I was like, oh, I really want to do that. Have some Nintendo Power.
Did
Glove.
you also have the power pad that you ran on there, Mr.
I
Monopoly
didn't have.
guy?
I didn't
or-
have.
Okay.
No, I didn't have the pad. I guess my parents ran out of money.
So
Yeah,
Aaron
power
Aaron's asking about the years we're talking about. I can guarantee you, Aaron, most of these are all going to be in the 80s or very early 90s.
Yep,
Just
this
from
was
these
from
guys.
1987. I double checked this afternoon to see when the NES Advantage was released, and it was 87.
Yeah. So
That
we
tracks.
got a lot of comments here going, wow, you guys are everyone's so interested in talking about toys, which is awesome. So
Yeah. Toys
yeah,
are the best.
Joe Pinated, he got the 5 years old. He got the NES and My Pet Monster, which I think is worth a lot more than the Nintendo ever was. if you have a good one in good shape. Lee wants to say Mask was the greatest. Don't let me down, fellows. Well, we all had.
I've got one in the garage, Lee. It's
Yep.
sitting up in a box,
I have one about 2 feet from me.
and it has the original KB Toy and Hobby price tag still on it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I think he's referring to your controller. That thing looks like you could run a power plant with it. So
Yeah. I'm assuming the number of capacitors in this thing, just based on the sheer weight alone, is heavy. So, yeah.
fun fact: the NES had more computing power than the Apollo 11. I'll take your
That's
word for
insane.
it. It's probably true. And then we got the Christmas Cousin podcast is here. Look at all this all-star
Oh,
crew.
my.
What's up, fellas? It's feeling Christmas already. So
Hi, cousins.
cool. All right. Well, I think it's time now for the guy who's going to have all the 80s stuff.
I do have a lot left over. I have boxes and boxes. Excuse my background, last minute here. But okay, so 1983, Christmas 1983, and I ran down to the living room. Castle Grayskull was there. Now, I'm not going to open it up
my.
because it's completely broken inside. My kids
Yeah.
have played with it since then. But yeah, this is my original Castle Grayskull. I remember there was a Merman, Faker, Man-at-Arms, and of course He-Man, and it was the coolest thing ever. I loved the cartoon, and I could not wait to get the castle, especially after watching the commercials, because I too am a big sucker, Scott.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
And Gerry, I'll raise you one. The other item I brought was
Prince Adam.
And I don't remember the dude he's riding on here, but whatever
Cringer
that thing was
or Battle
called.
Cat.
Cringer,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
that was
forgot
the other
Battle Cat.
other toy.
Yeah, sorry, Scott. I forgot you had two.
No. I thought we'd like come back around.
Okay.
Robin, but no, that was the other one. I don't remember the details of, but I knew I wanted it. And Gerry, remind me about this here, because the He-Man toys, like, they released like 19 versions of the same toy. It's all He-Man with no shirt on. It's like, oh, he's
Yes.
got a different bandolier around
Power
him.
Punch,
But
Thunder
there is.
Punch.
Yeah, they had
Laser
the
Light.
Thunder Punch
I get all of
He-Man.
them.
Yeah.
But it was
Battle
all
of
about the enemies,
Conan,
all about
yeah.
like the his friends and the other people you would get, like
But Prince
man
Adam was
faces
different.
and the weird
Because
skunk war.
he had the felt smock on him, so
Ah.
like this was like I couldn't fake
Fuck.
it with the other He-Man versions. Like you needed this toy.
That's right. That's right. Well,
So-
he has to
Smog.
transform, right?
So the cousins say, "Nice one, Gerry. Castle Grayskull is epic. It is epic. I mean, the paint job alone on that thing is so,
It's so good.
awesome." And
Yeah,
do you
that's-
remember
Yeah.
do you remember like the slime portion of it, like where
Yeah, the
where,
slime pit from
No.
He-Man.
Yeah, and it would get all, it
Yeah.
would get all crusty and nasty. I still have my Castle
Smell,
Grayskull as
too.
well. My mom was sending me videos of it because it's in her storage room or storage locker.
Oh, nice.
I think you just unlocked some core memory that I had forgotten about here. Like I feel like I've been activated. I'm only barely remembering slime.
The slime was
slime,
Yeah.
gross.
slime pit's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
I
Yeah,
got one.
and don't get it on your
Wow.
carpet because it was awful.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
goner. Completely
Horrible.
ruined.
Yeah.
Jerry, you have anything else, Jerry?
I do. So I said I only had one more, but I actually found my other one.
Okay.
So first, 1984, I got the
yeah.
Superpowers
Yeah.
Batmobile. Now it's missing some of the other pieces here, but with Batman and Robin as well. This thing was super cool. It had like the battering ram up front.
Oh.
It had the pieces in the back, the little, I don't know, catcher, whatever you want to call it, clamp.
Yeah,
And then
I
you
remember
could
that.
also the headlights would like go up, the eyes right there that you could see. But anyway, so
Awesome.
I got this. This was also super cool. I had Batman was my favorite comic book hero, so I had to have the Batmobile, which is like an awesome looking Batmobile in the 80s. It was before Tim Burton's, Batmobile 89, which is like my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was just super awesome. And of course, Batman would have lots of adventures with He-Man in Castle Grayskull. So,
Even though he barely fit in
Oh,
the car.
oh yeah,
you
yeah.
allowed,
He-Man.
you allowed those
you'd have to, like,
universes
ride on
to
top,
cross. I was not a universe crossing boy. Like it was He-Man or it was something else. You couldn't bring them together. Maybe G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
G.I.
just
Joe,
based on the
yeah.
size
Yeah,
alone.
I have
it
a
was weird, right?
whole box of G.I. Joes over there. But speaking of, someone said Mask, Don't Let Me Down. So Volcano,
Yeah.
1986. So this was the second series of Mask, and
Yeah.
you would press it and it would pop up like that. A few other things, like it had little guns that would come out this way. And I loved Mask because these figures were just, I don't know, they're just little cool guys that could fit in. And so there's Jacques Lafleur. I think that was his name. I don't recall exactly. But
Mhm.
anyway, so this one was awesome because it was motorized. So you'd put batteries in and you'd turn it on and it would just drive. It was like the coolest thing ever.
Until it hit something?
Until it hit something, yeah, exactly. And then you would just turn it off after
Old
that.
school,
So
Was there
That,
a Masked TV show, Jerry?
there was, yeah. There's no Christmas episode,
I
but there is
don't remember any
a
specifics
Mardi
of
Gras
Masked.
episode.
I have a couple Masked toys, and I figured that it must be like some crappy knockoff version of the thing I actually asked for. Like going through the box today, I didn't find any Transformers. I found GoBots. GoBots? Who wants GoBots?
Yeah. Go
Thanks,
Bots, yeah.
Grandma. So close.
The Hanna-Barbera Transformers, right?
Well, you also mentioned, Jerry, that you have a set that's still in storage, right?
Yes, so I have a bunch of Mask toys. They're all in various states of disarray, but I do have some Mask toys in storage. I have a bunch of GI Joes in a box about 3 feet from me, He-Man and Thundercats in a box about 5 feet from me. So I have quite a few figures, but they're all relatively awful.
Yeah.
And but
I,
yeah,
I,
my favorite
I,
Mask one is still in storage. Yeah.
Yeah, but I have I had a ton of Mask toys, and I don't know what happened to them. I mean, I think I know what happened to them, but my mom didn't save those. She saved
I'm
a
not
few
sure that
things.
ever made it up to Canada because I've never heard of that. I can't.
You've never heard of
You guys were
Mask?
saying either MASH
Mobile
or
On-Strike Command?
yeah,
Yeah.
MASH.
Yeah.
toys?
Mask,
Weird.
M-A-S-K.
Mask. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
mobile
was it
armored
Venom,
strike.
I do
right?
not
Right.
recall.
Right.
Mhm.
Venom? What did Venom stand for?
Venom. Vile.
Villainous.
No, villainous.
No.
I don't remember.
I
Something of
remember
of
Mobile Armored
mayhem.
Strike Command.
There's something of mayhem. Network of
Oh.
mayhem. I think
Yeah, that would be it.
Wow.
Miles Mayhem was the villain. So
Well,
yeah.
Lee says yes, Jerry. So you made him happy because you brought your Mask toys out. Ben said, Artie and I were more into board games and puzzles, being twins. We had built in Playmates. You didn't have any mass toys, Ben? Come on.
Sorry, man. Sorry. Cool.
And then my favorite 80s toy was Totally Rad Gerry doll. Came with his own 8-bit podcast mic. Super rare.
Super rare. Yeah.
Super rare.
Still can't find a mid-condition one. Sorry.
Right. It was because of that recall. Massive recall.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, Andy. It is your turn. And as you can see, Andy's got quite an extensive collection behind him.
I do. A lot of this stuff is new-ish. So I only have like 2 or 3 toys from when I was younger that it survived. And actually, Joe might recognize this one because this is like the one toy that I brought to college that I had since I was a little kid. So this is 1981. This is the original Yoda hand puppet.
Yes.
My hand still fits, which is amazing. But you can go. Wait, let me get the. I'm doing it wrong. There we go. So impressed his hair. I'm impressed with the hair.
Oh wow!
And it's very squishy, right? But
Yeah.
I love the paint they put on this. Look, not a chip on that brown.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is from
Yeah.
That's
1981.
amazing.
Now you'll see the toes, and then here's the story part. His ears have tooth holes in them.
Wow, great. Are they your tooth holes? Yeah.
And
Was
I would
it
yell
you
at
or
him
your
for chewing on
brother?
the ears. What?
Who chewed on it? You or your brother?
So my brother would chew on it, and I'd yell at him because I chewed on him.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, "Hey, don't chew on the Yoda. That's my job." It's
my
It was so hard to resist chewing on Yoda. But
What is
now
up
here's
with Yoda's
something-
hair?
Well, it used to be more Barbie-like, right?
Yeah, because now it looks like they're cornrows or something. Like I didn't know.
Yeah,
If, like,
they
did you have a sister or
shriveled.
something who played beauty salon with it, or did it just
No,
get gross?
this is just how it goes after 40 years.
Don't
But
touch
here's-
it, man.
Here's the other crazy part. This came out in 81. Now, if you look, hold on, I'm going to try to do this backwards again. There we go. If you covered up everything, he looked like E.T.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so we always joked that they had ET dolls, and they're like, "Oh, just slap some ears on them." Well, so is Yoda.
That's who he was trying to phone home to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
man.
what I love is it's like one piece, right? And it's a soft rubber, so it couldn't get broken. And
Yeah.
so that was I wanted
Yeah.
one thing from my childhood to go to college, and I could put it on a shelf and not worry about it. Luckily, people didn't steal it, and so he survived college, and then he's one of the very few things I still have that's the original. Oh, also, I would put that up to my. I can't do it now. But you look at the sunlight through this; it was like a kaleidoscope where the light would come through.
That's fun.
I remember going like this a lot. You would see me like this. I don't know why. It's so dumb, right? But yeah, that's.
But what
something
what does it smell like now?
Like vaguely like rubber. It does not have that
Okay.
like brand new vinyl, Darth Vader cape.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
no,
that '80s plastic smelled like a whole. That lasted for
Yeah.
years and years.
Had its own vibe. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
remember because it was a
buy-
lot softer compared to like those Pizza Hut Land Before Time vinyl puppets.
yes,
Like those were like
Yeah.
ridiculously hard to move, and that one was so easy. It was great.
Yeah, but I love the. He's got try to see if I can do this. He's got a really nice texture on his cloak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
a
remember that.
fantastic Yoda. I had no complaints, and even though and at first like, oh, his mouth doesn't move, but like just getting his head to go like this, that's all you need, right? Like, and then so the other thing I really liked about it was, I was much smaller, when I was 5. This was like a Yoda for me, like if you scale down Yoda for an adult, this is what the size that Yoda would be. So I would carry this Yoda around in a backpack. I try to get like his head to stick out of the backpack, if I could. But it was like more of a role-playing Yoda, like me and Yoda on adventures, not me just playing with Yoda, if that makes sense. So
Well, I just looked it up on eBay, and it looks like they all suffer from the same hair issue.
yeah.
So you don't have to feel bad about yours.
What does it go
He's
for?
also-
What
He's
does
not
it go
only
for?
the president; he's
Well,
also a member.
Yeah, Cy Sperling. It looks like one in the condition that he just showed is about $100.
What?
But please take that with a grain of salt. I am not a Yoda expert.
Right.
So, Ed, do you have anything else?
So that was the one toy that survived. I have a few other toys, but we've got different categories. So that's the one.
Okay.
I did mention actually, yeah. Let me do can I do share screen?
Does
that work?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, so if you guys feel like Googling later, my dad got me a big box of Constructs. And
nice.
I kept those at my mom's house, right? Through college, through young adulthood, through getting married. I didn't have them. But then when my son was born and then he was like 3 or 4, I went and found and I had that hard case for it. And so I had the Constructs for my son and I to put together. And then I don't think they're in my house right now because I've had a nephew and some nieces. And so it's been passed around. So it's still getting played with. It's lost a couple pieces along the way, but the Constructs is one other toy that it survived the great culling. When I turned 12 and sold everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Aaron said Yoda was E.T. for a second, laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And Ben was 18 in 1982. So but I'm 49 and I still collect toys. So no excuse, Ben.
Yeah, that's true.
So cool. All right. John, you are up next to show us what you got.
Now, I definitely still have a lot of toys from when I was a kid. I was going through my mom's storage locker. I still had Castle Grayskull. I still had all my He-Man toys, like the entire set. Oh, whoops. I still have like Eternia, the thing that had like a monorail in it. Yeah, I was like, I barely remember this stuff, but my family held on to it because He-Man was very important to me. However, Nintendo and video games were the thing.
Right.
This is the only thing that has stayed with me in my studio for forever. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh my God, is that Robbie?
It's Rob.
Wow.
And he surprisingly, he still kind of works. I think he's just making noise
when he worked,
now.
he didn't really work.
Well, exactly. That's kind of the weird thing. This guy barely did anything. There was like that game where he sort of picked up discs and moved them to another thing.
Yes,
I think there were only 2 games that supported Robbie, if I remember right.
Yeah, but apparently, and I do have a tube television. I was going to try it, but if you get the game, it still works. He just sees the pattern on the tube. It has to be CRT, like a tube television.
Yeah.
However, a couple of years ago, because I was interested, I bought these goggles for him. These like Bluetooth goggles, so you can stick them on his face, and we'll see if it works. It did work for me before, but yeah, you can control them with Bluetooth. So for the last 3 years out in my studio, I've had him just holding my my security camera. He just kind of holds it between his arms. But yeah, if I could get this guy actually doing some work in the studio. Oh, no.
No, I didn't know Rob was an acronym. I'm looking this up here.
Yeah, what was it? Robotic
operating. You got it. Keep going.
The red eyes make it kind of menacing. Yeah,
it's robotic operating buddy.
Oh, buddy. There you go. My controls are not working.
Do you know why they made Rob?
No.
So when Nintendo was Japanese. And they were pitching to the American retailers, hey, this thing's going to be gigantic. Video games are not dead. Because remember, Atari had come out and had kind of... This is post-ET, right? And like, parents are not buying video game systems anymore. And so the American market was like, well, we're not selling it in toy stores because it's not a toy. So Nintendo threw in a robot just to get into that toy category to get on the shelves at KB and Toys R Us. Wow, and so they had no plans to develop more games for it. It was literally additional packaging, if you will.
That's so weird. Well, I mean, I looked it up, and they're pretty hard to find. Like, this was like an original run, and I think they just stopped after the first couple thousand or whatever. So if you have a new one, it's worth like over 1,000. I'm sure even used, it's still worth something because I've never seen another one in my life.
The red eyes remind me of Johnny Five when he goes back to normal robot mode.
Oh yeah.
You know what's funny? I literally have that VHS sitting right beside me because I was gonna try to rip it so I could watch like a VHS version of it. So
John, it
old
looks
school.
like the game you were trying to remember with the stacking was called Gyromite.
Gyromite, that's the one.
There's another one, and I can't find what it is, and my Google foo is failing me right now. But I think there's
Gyromite
one
was
other
the
game.
one I was trying to think of, and I do still have two of the pads where it's like it's a blue button and a red button, and he's able to hit them, I guess, but I haven't got him fully working yet.
So you got anything else, John?
I do not. The rest of mine were pictures. I'll shout out my original Rancor monster because I still have.
Yeah.
And he's my favorite. I meant to bring him because he's supposed to be here in the studio, and he also. I don't think I liked Luke Skywalker as a kid because he's got like a few Luke Skywalkers inside him, or just Luke Skywalker's head.
Right.
I guess I always wanted the Rancor to win, and I was always sad.
The Rancor had a great look, just classic.
Yeah.
So, Pepper Tree Villa, John, I haven't seen one of those in years, and I haven't either until John told me about it, and he's like, "I got this robot, the Nintendo robot. I want to show it." And I was like, "Okay, well, we'll do a podcast about it."
I'm gonna put him to work. I'm gonna get it working.
Hey, Joe, put me on full screen for a second.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me just read this one. The robot thing reminds me of a Teddy Ruxpin, and I had lip synced to John Bon Jovi and Metallica.
Master.
All right, look what I found.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there they are. Yeah.
Oh.
And I loved that you could
Look
do.
at the condition those are in. Are you a sociopath?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I love that you could rearrange them so you had like a big, like enclosed bowl
Mm-hmm.
or like
Yeah.
a mountain
That's
range.
amazing.
Yeah.
These were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They're so artistic, and I'm so mad that they don't make new ones because I would buy like 10 of them if they still made them.
Totally.
You were talking about 3D printers earlier. I mean, that seems like
Yeah,
it's
just
something
3D
very
printers.
easy
Yeah.
to 3D print.
I
Just build a whole like
it's
ramp
especially
system.
If I scan it or make my own. This really would not
Yeah,
be that hard.
make your own. Add to that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny because I mentioned earlier that my mom had this giant bin of Legos, and that's how I put together the Galaxy Commander. And so when I took all those, I said, I'm just taking these Legos from this piece, and then we still do have all of those plates, and I have a bunch of those, the ones with the mountainish on it. I got like the landing pads, all that stuff, and I took them all because I didn't want my nephew to destroy them because he was destroying things.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
so
we'll do that.
it's funny now because my brother, when he brings his kids by, they will always build Legos, and they always like, Uncle Joe stole all the base plates. I'm like, yeah, because they're valuable, and you kids are gonna ruin them. So,
I'm saving
Plastic is brittle.
yes,
right.
they fall apart very easily, especially now as they get older. The plastic has just gotten real.
Yeah.
Real
If
weak
you get a
with them.
crack in that, there's no repairing it. It's
No.
done.
No.
Yeah. And John, I have a very important update for you real quick. I just looked it up. I'm sorry, the research department just got back to me. The two games were Gyromite and Stack Up. Stack Up is the one you're trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gyromite, there was a professor in his lab, and it had to move around to try to defuse dynamite. I never played with either because I wasn't a rich kid, and I've never even touched one of those robots. But,
I definitely did play Gyromite, but I don't think it came, and we got it used. I remember my parents getting it probably like 87 because I think it came out like 85.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about the toys that we never got, and we can't show them on screen because we never got them. And this is, this is our problem. And so I had all the guys send me their ideas and their pictures, and we'll go through each one and see what we never got that we really wanted. So I'll start. In 1981, I was a huge Smokey and the Bandit fan. I loved that movie. I probably should not have been watching that movie at 5 or 6 years old, but I
That's what
loved
we
it.
did in the 80s.
And I remember going to Kmart with my grandmother, and I saw this set. It's the Ertl Smokey and the Bandit. It's from Smokey and the Bandit 2 because the truck is different. But it was still the car. the Trans Am is what I really wanted. And I really wanted this set. I asked my Santa for it. I remember telling my parents, "Oh, I want the Smokey and the Bandit set." Never got it. I've never been able to find it on eBay that doesn't cost a fortune because it was not a very popular item, obviously, because Smokey and the Bandit 2 sucked. But I have bought a die-cast metal version of the Trans Am, and that made me feel better. So this was a toy that I never got.
And you never got a replica of the car. You never got it.
Well, no, I got the die-cast version of the Trans Am.
Okay, sorry, yeah, the die-cast.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
but you never got this set.
Never got this set, and I've never seen it anywhere other than eBay on once in a while, and it costs a fortune. So.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So Scott.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still angry about this. I'm still so pissed. So I got a laser tag when I was young. I have no idea how old, but here's the problem: I had one blaster gun and one, I don't know, the thing that you put on your chest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to give my sister the Starlight thing and like just make her go run, and then I would shoot at her. And, the whole thing was ruined on this. Eventually, somebody bought me, I think it was called the Star Base or something like that, where it would shoot back at you. But still, this was a solo thing for me. It was just me versus the machine, I guess. And I wanted this. I asked Santa for the laser tag vest because I don't know if there was like a weird strap or something you could hold that light to your chest with, but whatever it was, I didn't have it. I had to hold it against my chest, and it was so weird. And this is kind of devolving into a therapy session because I'm still pretty mad about this. But I wanted this. I wanted this vest so that it would hold on with Velcro, and I could, be cool like the kid in the commercial. Like that wasn't really going to change how uncool I was, but I wanted this, and I never got it.
Yeah. Oh, the vest always was cool. Now I'm sure you can go get it, but I'm sure it's not going to fit you. So
it might be a little snug. Yeah,
it might be a little tight.
We're going to have to do some modifications to get it around my frame at this point, but I would still give it a red hot go if somebody got this for me today.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. Andy.
Snake Mountain. Actually, check this out. I have it now.
Oh, well, that's
so wait a minute. Technical foul here.
I have it now. No, that's the thing. When I
you never got it then. Okay.
In fact, I'm the reason Joe added this category because I told him this was the disappointment that led me on that path that there was no Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So I was always a Skeletor.
There's kids listening.
Right? Like everybody loved He-Man. Everybody pretended they were He-Man on the schoolyard. I was always Skeletor. I loved Skeletor, and I wanted Skeletor's house. And it came out a few years after Castle Grayskull.
It did.
And so when they announced, and it had the microphone and the trap and the chains and the moving mouth, I was like, oh my God, I need this. And so I asked my parents, and they're like, no, that I want to say it was around $30-some back in 1982. $83. Right. It was too expensive. And so I remember being really disappointed. Then one of my friends was like, listen, you dummy, just ask Santa. And I was like, that's right. Santa won't let me down. And so, man, I did not get Snake Mountain, and I was
spoiler. Santa let him down.
And I was like, this is going to come true. And no joke, during the pandemic, I bought this Snake Mountain. And
that's the up yours Santa.
Yep. And now I got his hat.
I'm not gonna lie, Andy. I also have Snake Mountain still, and it's at my mom's house. I think I had that entire set, everything that was made by He-Man.
Yeah,
man, I needed you guys as friends growing up.
We had a Snake Mountain as well, but that one was long gone.
Yeah, I never got it.
Parents had like big garage sale. Got rid of a lot of our stuff.
And I now have the Origin Snake Mountain. That thing is massive.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's too big. It's too big. But
I haven't seen any of the new stuff.
Yeah, that was a good fulfillment for me. Was like I finally have Snake Mountain, and Yeah. Oh, that felt good. But
Wow, that is so cool.
All right, John.
Yes. See,
Oh.
okay, same thing. Now, I never got this, and I never even actually, and I got the explanation from my parents when I was younger. They're like, nobody's going to have this. You're going to be playing it by yourself. It's like we can't afford enough to buy one
Smart.
for your little sister, and
Your,
she's only
Smart.
two.
your parents had a really good point there. I just want to point
Yeah,
it out
right.
to you.
Well, exactly. And I didn't realize
you
it
know.
wasn't validated until you just went a couple turns ago, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that totally would have not have
Yeah,
worked.
you could have
So,
saved me a whole lot of frustration if I'd have had your parents.
Whole lot of frustration for your sister too when you played Hunger Games with her.
yeah, she would not have liked that. But I forgot about the helmet. That makes
Man
me
is the
want
most
it again,
dangerous
I'm not gonna
game,
lie.
right?
Yeah, the helmet. I never had the helmet. I
The
wish
helmet
I
was
had the
cool.
helmet.
That
Yeah,
was
I
part
mean
of
it
the
looks
draw.
dorky as hell now, but it was
Yeah,
cool when
but
you were
back
yeah.
then it was like the
You
coolest
you
thing,
shut
man.
your mouth, Joe. That thing does not look dorky, and you know it.
No, it looks cool as heck.
You know, John, it wasn't until I was like an adult in my 20s and I went to my first corporate team building event at a laser arena kind of thing. That was the fulfillment of what I wanted
Yeah,
to
that's what
experience
you
as a
wanted.
child.
That is
Oh,
fair.
that's
Yeah,
so
I had
cool.
the same thing on like a party bus that I ended up breaking my rib in laser tag. So that was a different sort of fulfillment.
Man,
All
I would
right.
still buy that. I would buy that helmet today, though, with that klaxon thing
totally.
on top.
I
Man, that's so
absolutely would.
cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So I went out of order for a specific reason because Gerry has the thing that nobody got for Christmas.
You had the
USS
flag?
No, I
Oh,
wanted
he
it.
never got it.
I never got it.
Okay. I
mean,
was
who
about
had
to go.
that?
I was going to
One
be
of my
apoplectic
best
if you had gotten
friends-
that.
No, one of my best friends in
Okay.
the world had it, so I got to play with it. But I wanted one so bad, and
Oh,
of
wow, I remember
course,
that
it
thing.
was like way too expensive. But like, you could land sky strikers on it, the tomahawks, like everything could fit on it. It was the coolest thing. It took up like half of his room, but dude was like the greatest ever after that point. As soon as people found out he had it, he was like the most popular kid. And
Yeah. I mean, how much was it, Gerry? Like it was like $600 or $700, or am I
It
off
was-
here?
It was.
I don't
nuts.
think it was that much, but it was
it was
a lot.
99.
hundred.
It
It was
says
a
right
couple
there on
hundred.
the
Okay.
deck.
Yeah. So what was it like to live near the Carnegies and the Vanderbilts? Was it fun? Or?
Connecticut,
It's the same
right?
kid that later on got me to toilet paper one of his enemies' houses. But hey, whatever it took to play that flag, right? To play with that flag, so I'll take it.
I have said for years, I haven't done it yet, but because I have no room for it, I don't have any space for it. But I had said at one point I was like, I am going to get myself one of these because I never got it, and I still don't got it because I just don't have anywhere to put it. But if I did, I would have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gerry.
Cool.
Update from the research department. It retailed for between $99 and $139. What I'm remembering now
Called it.
is you can buy a mint one now for $799. And I
Gotcha.
guess there's a piece on the back that's some sort of like it would have kept you from falling off the walkway. And I guess the piece is very rare because everyone lost it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I don't really know what it was, but I remember seeing this on one of those YouTube channels where people restore old toys. And
There's
man,
always
this
that
is-
one piece. It's like, He-Man's like
That's
axe
right.
or something. It's like, if you had this piece, it would have been worth $800.
Yeah,
but
now
instead
it's
it's worth
20.
$17.50. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's a dog toy.
okay, research department, which is bigger, the
Oh.
flag or the Jabba sail barge that Hasbro HasLabs came out with a few years ago?
Oh my God. I would have to imagine this is bigger. I mean, look at the kids
Yeah.
in this thing. Unless these kids
I
are
know,
small.
but have you seen that sail barge in real life?
I think this
haven't.
is
It's
still
an ironing
bigger.
board.
I
I
think
need
this
to
is
see the
just-
sail barge. Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So Ben,
I
look
still
it
have
up.
pieces that would work with that.
Ben says that's crazy. It is crazy that there's rich kids
was.
that had it. And
Well,
who had-
his dad owned like orange orchards, so they were like they were really big into I mean, they had money.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, they had citrus money. I understand now.
yeah,
Sure.
that's
Sure.
hey, it's South Texas. Heck yeah.
Enough said. Yeah.
and Crazy Joe says, "Hey there, I dig your channel. Thanks, Crazy Joe, for checking us out, and make sure you check out my videos." And then Jay McCormick says it was the lower railing. Yes,
Lower railing.
yes,
Okay.
I
It was a
remember.
railing.
There's a YouTube channel, Toy Federation, where they always talk about and show toys and stuff. And I remember him when they were there was an episode where they talked about this, and he's like, "Yeah, I have one of these little pieces," and he pulled it out, and he goes, "This is worth more than most of the toys that are in the studio because it's so rare." Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, this was a great thing, and then
Go
what
back
is
to that picture real quick, Joe, because I'm seeing a glaring problem with this. Had Santa even brought this for me, I wouldn't have had any airplanes or anything to go on it. Both my parents have passed, so I can speak freely now. They always blew it when it came to buying the sets of toys. Like, I had one of many pieces that were required to have fun with something, and I wouldn't
Well,
have
I mean,
had it, so-
$140 in 1980, what was it, 87? I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't giving away the helicopter or the Harrier or whatever it was that didn't come with it. So I'm still mad. I'm still
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
So, John, I think I have a screen in here, but I may have actually forgot to include it. But you had another toy that you never got, and I asked you what it was, and you said there's a good story for it.
It was. It's kind of a weird one, and this goes on the whole precursor of me being a spoiled brat that obviously got everything I wanted usually, except laser tag.
Yeah.
So one year my mom had got
That's
me
where they
something-
draw the line.
Yeah, laser tag was it.
have
And
laser
she,
tag
she
money.
would give me hints, and I would always ask because I was a little brat, and I would be like, "Oh, come on, tell me what it is. What color is it? What color?" And the one year I remember her telling me, I think I might have been like 9. And she's like, "It's gold." And for the next week in my head, I didn't ask her again because she wouldn't tell me anything. It was gold. And I just got it in my head that for some reason, somehow, my parents or my mom got me a brick of gold, just a gold brick. So I was expecting, I was literally
Gold
expecting as
bullion.
a child, one of those big movie gold bricks. And then I was kind of horrified to find out it was just a Game Genie. But
Oh,
because it was the original
What a
Game Genie that was
downgrade.
all gold.
I mean, Game Genie's
I-
awesome, though.
I gotta say, Game Genie was amazing, even though it totally ruined my Nintendo. But I'm still like longing for that hunk of gold. Maybe that's just like a goal.
So
Wow.
Jay said the flag was 7.5 feet long,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
crazy.
That sounds
And
about
then
right.
Adam Jacobson says, "Just saying, the USS flag has Wayne Gretzky's number on it."
I was gonna say you could get that as
There you go.
memorabilia, just hang it on the wall.
So now we're going to talk about what is the toy you wish you still had. So these are toys that you had that you don't have and you've never bought again. So we'll quickly go through these. This was mine. I know I had the Star Wars
Oh.
Death Star
Man.
playset.
baby.
That
um,
one was cool.
We don't have it anymore because it was mostly cardboard and
Yeah.
fell apart.
Yep.
I think
Funny,
we
they
still.
didn't even try to give you the whole thing. Hey, they just like here's an eighth of it. Just-
Well, and I remember when we had this, like I knew it was kind of the Death Star, but I never saw it in my head, because it is just
Yeah.
like an
Yeah.
eighth. It's like an eighth, or it's not even an eighth. It's like a fourth of the Death Star.
I know Lucas was probably doing the math in his head. It's like, okay, how much would it be to actually build this toy? Oh, $1,200. Yeah, okay, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna give him a pizza. We're gonna give him a pizza slice of the Death Star.
And I
Right.
remember like, oh, this is the garbage disposal, and it's like neon like foam pieces.
There's a
You know,
couch in there.
Yeah.
It was still
Yeah, this was something I had. I wish I still had it, but it fell apart. It never stayed together very well. It was
Didn't have a chance. It was only it wasn't even fully operational when they were designing it.
thing's fully operational.
Scott.
Somebody just did a Palpatine laugh.
This was the
Oh.
toy.
Ooh.
I had so this is the one that I had, right? And
Yeah.
and who God only knows where this thing's in a landfill somewhere. But I remember
Right.
so the big draw on this TIE Interceptor, which I had to even look up what it was even called, was that the two sides popped off, like
Mhm.
because somebody took a shot. I don't know who
Mhm.
was it. Han took a shot at him, and boom, the thing came off. But
I love
But
that.
man, those pieces didn't go back together, right? And like it was such a disappointing toy because it never went back to its original form. I'm sure I was a stupid kid and I bent some piece that was supposed to
doubt.
do something here, but no, the thing never went back to its original form. So you rest in garbage, you piece of junk.
Scott, I'm not gonna lie, I have the wings to this still.
Oh, good, because
I was going through my mom's unit. I'm like, I gotta find
old
the
house.
ball.
I have the center.
Right.
We could get together and make one working piece.
Yeah, ours could fit together. Who knows?
Oh, see, you had the TIE fighter. Look at that.
Yeah.
Just
Is
a
it
wing,
Is it next to your gold bar?
That's right.
The gold bar in my mind.
Andy.
Oh my God, the magic show, right?
Mhm.
I loved doing performances, right?
I remember
And
this.
Now,
I don't.
There's
Wow,
a
my brother
ton
had
of
this.
things that it did. There were like 20, 30 tricks in there.
Yeah.
And the thing that I loved, and I think this might have had some huge, deep psychological influence on my way of thinking, but the case that you carried everything around in was also part of the show, right? Like it wasn't just a
I
plastic case you
remember.
put everything out.
Mhm.
There were magic drawers and hidden compartments so that you used the case as like 3 or 4 of the tricks. And then there were like some of the standalone ones, like the egg there, and then like the scarves, where you could change the color of the scarves, and the balls you could smush in your hand. But then they're all packed up inside the case, and there was like a latch, and you could carry it with you. And man, I loved playing with it. It did, Joe. I believe this became a Death Star for a little while because it had like compartments and stuff,
Sounds
right?
right.
So it was like, but no,
Man,
I loved.
Andy, I've never seen this before. This is so cool looking. Now I have, like some kind of. I was left out of something awesome just looking at this. This is so cool, and I remember.
Yeah.
I was in about 5th grade, and I was like a real nerdy kid. My mom was like, "Oh, Scott doesn't fit in the school. Maybe I should get him magic lessons." Well, you know what, Mom? That was the wrong direction.
No, other way.
So Crazy Joe said I had that and he loved it. So Andy,
Oh,
Yeah,
That
that
is a
thing.
cool one.
Go down. They're on YouTube. You can watch some commercials or demonstration videos.
Nice.
That was a ton of fun. And to your point about being a maybe a reclusive or introverted kid,
yeah.
My son was a little shy for a while, and so I just got him a handful of magic tricks, nothing like this kit. And it wasn't about doing magic to impress your friends, but it's about you have the answer that other people don't have and they want. And so it does give you a sense of confidence, right?
Mhm.
And so we'd go to summer camp and they'd have the talent show. He would do a magic show at the talent show. And people were like, wait, how'd you do that? Right? Like they wanted to listen to him. They wanted to engage. And I think that gave him a little bit of a notch of confidence. So
you know what else builds confidence? Like maybe some baseball lessons would have worked, Mom.
Being good at sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would go a lot farther. But it's so cool.
And then Andy, you also had another one.
Yeah.
Oh, the Muppet Show color forms.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
color forms.
Color forms were so great because people give me stickers, and then to this day, I get that anxiety of like, where am I going to stick it for forever? Right?
Yeah,
Like,
me
I
too.
love this
Yeah.
sticker.
I still have
I
like
can't
so many
commit.
stickers that are just unstuck.
They were
Right.
vinyl, right, Andy?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
these are
was
vinyl.
like
So
a-
you could stick
yeah.
and re-stick and stick and
Okay,
re-stick.
all right.
Mhm.
Did
And
you like
it was
wash
like
them with soap and
costumes.
water?
No. It's just
Not even, just
natural
peel it
static
off.
electricity.
Yeah, it just
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
They would just stick. So the cardboard part was laminated, so the vinyl would just stick to it. But it's all outfits. So kind of like a paper doll, you dress up Fozzie like a clown, or Kermit like a farmer, or whatever. And then at the bottom, and I know it's tough to see in this picture, there were like finger holes, and so you could move them back and forth on the stage. And I love the idea that there's color forms for all these different licensed properties. But when it came to Muppet Show, the whole idea of the Muppet Show is that they're putting on a performance on a stage.
right.
And so
right.
that
Ah.
came into the toy play, was performing as the Muppets.
That's
Cool.
cool.
I have a life hack
That
for
was
you
awesome.
guys.
I don't remember. That.
So a lot of times, like from a pizza place or whatever, I get like a big fat, magnet. Or like my son had the, trainee driver, careful, please, patience. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, for a car. Okay.
Right. So you get those big fat magnets that are very thin. I hoard them. I keep them. And then when I get stickers that I want to keep forever, I stick the sticker on the magnet and then cut around it and then put that on metal. So my office, I've got this one metal cabinet covered in stickers. But if I happen to need to leave that office for whatever reason, I can take all my magnets with me.
Oh,
So-
holy crap, Andy, man.
Cool.
You're playing chess. I'm
Yeah.
still playing checkers
Oh
over
yeah,
here.
Mr. Big
My
Brain.
mind is blown.
In
That's
fact,
a good one.
Adam, one of our viewers, he sends out a yearly calendar, and so I used last year's calendar and put stickers on it and cut it. So he's helped me out.
So John, this is the toy
Man,
that
I
you.
missed that thing.
Yeah, you had it and you never got. You don't have it again.
No, I mean, yeah. Wait. This is the one that I had and don't have anymore.
Is that right?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you might
Okay.
want to roll with this, John.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Check the
Yeah,
tape.
no, that was my first computer, and honestly, I would have held on to that. It didn't do much like good for me back then in computing. It was like a couple art programs, but I later on found that it's still being used as like a MIDI timepiece in people's like analog studios. Like I think Aphex Twin uses this exact one, which made me want to still
wow.
have it.
Man,
But also, I would
that's
also change
cool,
my
John.
answer to Power Glove because I wish I still had the Power Glove to use with it.
Yeah, this is the toys you wish you still had. You don't have them anymore.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's definitely valid.
so, and then here's your gold brick. That's in the wrong
Thank you.
category. So,
Did you just make that right now? That's awesome.
no, it was just I knew it was probably in the wrong order. Gerry.
Yeah, so the one that you showed, the Matchbox Voltron, I got that in Christmas of '85. I was so excited to have it. I loved the cartoon. I had
the
it,
cartoon.
but I used it so much that I ruined the springs in the arms. The lion's heads would shoot out, and it would just like spring loaded. You would just like load it back in, and I played with it so much that I actually ruined the springs. So from then on, at that point, it was like, well, it doesn't shoot anymore. So I gave it to my brother, and he ended up playing with it. And then my mom, like I said, sold it at a garage sale, and I want
The
it,
Toy
but I also
Story fate.
don't want to like.
And
I
you
don't wanna
still
spend
Gerry,
that money.
Gerry, I got a screenplay idea for you here, man. You travel back in time as a customer of your mom's yard sale, and you buy the
Oh
thing.
yeah,
That would be so cool. Pet and penny.
It was always
y'all,
you.
y'all can't steal that.
dibs.
Dibs. Gerry, tell me real quick here, because I don't remember a Matchbox Voltron. I had the Voltron that were the individual lion vehicles or whatever, and they would come together to become this massive Voltron. But that's the
That's
one
what
I
this
only had
is.
3.
So
That is okay. I had 3 of the 5.
yeah,
Yeah,
there were
but they were
a couple
plastic.
of different
They weren't
sets of
metal.
Voltron. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's the other one. That's the Panache Place or the other might have been LJN, but
Okay.
that's that one. This one was done by Voltron. It was used die-cast metal. It was also sold either separately or in a set. Usually in the set was more common. I had it in the set, and the lines would detach
Oh.
as well, and then you
Mhm.
could put them together. But nobody
I-
fit in them. It was
I was,
smaller. I think it was
Oh.
only like 14 inches tall.
I was trying to take the lion out, and it's not moving, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, no. It's
No.
gonna
Leave it
break.
alone.
Just leave it. Yeah, leave it
No.
alone. Not the best of that. But it was
So-
like so cool.
We have one more last category, and again, these are things if you still have them, we can show them. So the toy that you used to have, and then you went and got it as an adult because that's what you do. So
Yeah.
so I have a toy that we've talked about a few times here that I went out and bought at a toy show. The guy was selling it for $10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it still
Oh, man.
works.
That's bringing back some repressed memories here, Gerry.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh.
Uh-oh. That's cool.
Yeah, wait, which one is this called?
this was just the laser tag gun with the chest plate, I guess.
Still works.
Yeah, it
I
still works.
swear there was a crappy thing to hold the thing on your chest if you didn't have the cool vest.
I think it was just like a strap,
but apparently the vest didn't even work.
Strap. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked Santa for some friends to play laser tag with. He never brought any. Look at that!
A miracle worker.
It's like a smock. Look at this thing.
Smock. You put it on, and then stick.
I was a fat kid. That wouldn't have fit me. No, not a chance.
Oh, that's so good. See, Joe, that is what I wanted. I would have been down with laser
That's
tag.
cool.
So the cool thing was this: is that I have two younger brothers. We all got laser tag for 1986 Christmas. My uncle bought us the guns and that, and my grandmother bought the batteries. This thing takes 6 AA's and then a 9-volt in here.
Wow.
And they last about 10 minutes.
That sounds
So-
right. Yeah.
You need those B
I
batteries.
Joe, I think the base took like 18 D cell batteries or something.
The vest is like, oh.
Massive.
So that Christmas we got all the batteries and we had probably the most epic laser tag battle. And
10
then
minutes.
my mom would never
For 10
buy
minutes.
batteries for us because batteries cost a lot of money in the 80s.
A lot of money.
Batteries are
Yeah.
expensive.
And
Yeah.
especially when you have
Especially
3
when they're
kids.
like
You have 3 kids and you need to buy 18 batteries just so that they could play for 10 minutes. So we really only had one epic battle on Christmas Day, and then we never really had batteries unless you stole them out of the remote control or whatever. But yeah, I don't know what happened to the original. I'm sure they got thrown away when no one played with them or anything. But I was at a toy show about a year ago, and this guy had it sitting there. And I'm like, how much is that? Because I'm thinking, okay, he's going to tell me like, $100 or whatever. He goes, $10? I'm like, yeah, $10.
Yeah.
And so I have the original styrofoam case that it came in. It doesn't have the box, but it has the case that it all fits in. And I'm looking to 3D print like something that I can hold the gun, on a shelf so I can display it, which is my next thing. But I had to go buy laser tag. It was just something I needed.
That's cool.
And,
That's cool, man.
I still
That's
might.
cool.
I got to keep my eye open at garage sales.
Yeah, be careful when John comes to your house, Joe. That thing is going to disappear.
Joe, do you remember the electric shock laser tag that we had?
No.
At the barbecue one year, one of the companies sent me all their electric shock stuff. So, guys, it was like laser tag. You had
This
a
doesn't
gun,
sound safe.
and on the handle, it had
Reminds me of Bill Murray.
like metal contacts,
Uh-huh.
and then you had the target on your chest, and it was connected with like a telephone
amazing.
cord. And if I shot your target, the handle delivered a mild electric shock, and then there was a strategy in it. You could up
What?
your own personal level of shocking, right? So it really hurt, but you did 2 dots of damage to the other guy. So we also had tanks.
Oh.
It was these 2 remote control tanks, and the remote control would deliver a mild electric shock when you got shot. And we played with those at the barbecue, Joe. I used to.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't
No.
recall that, but we were also drinking at the barbecue. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could
Drinking
just
an electric
imagine like,
shock. What a
all right,
combo.
yeah, pound of beer now attach it to your scrotum. Let's see
Yeah,
what
that's
happens.
right.
here. Like, this is
Oh no,
bad.
we did that with the other thing.
All right, Scott, what did you
Okay,
go out
so-
and buy?
All right, so mine's a little bit of a cheat, but when I was, gosh, I must have. Do you remember that period in your life where you were kind of older than the other kids, but you're still hanging on and playing with stuff that you had completely aged out of? I was like 13 or 14 years old, and our family friends had this Fisher-Price cash register, and I begged my parents for it. My dad was like, I'm not buying that for you. You're like 15 years old. What the hell? So, every year it's like I had it because we got to go to their house in Syracuse every year and play with it. So when I had a daughter, this was like the first thing I bought. She's still in the crib and I'm out on eBay. Now, this is not this is a reproduction. This is not the original one. This is the repro. But man, I love this toy. And, we're now at the point where my kid's going to be a teenager soon and we're donating a lot of her toys. And my wife's like, can I donate this? And I was like, over your dead body, we're donating
Absolutely.
not a chance on
That's for her
earth.
grandchildren.
Yeah. So the Fisher Price cash register was the thing I had to have when I was an adult. And I was like, wait a minute, I got adult money. I can buy this stuff. So that was the item.
That's
I remember
awesome.
that thing. That's a classic.
Yeah. All right. Gerry.
So the one that I was going to show you was actually in a box there, and I just didn't have time to get it. So the other one that I got was something that I had. It was Raven from Mask. This thing would transform, and you'd press this. Now, I got this
Whoa.
off eBay, and this was only like, I don't know.
This sounds like it's metal, Gerry. Like you could lose a finger in that thing.
No, and this piece would come up, so
Whoa.
it was like turbo boosters. Now in this particular one, the little blade that would shoot out is kind of jammed in there. That's why it was so cheap. But yeah, it was like super cool. I used to play, my cousin and I. My cousin had almost all the Mask toys, and so I would go to his house, and I'll never forget this one time. His dad was like supposed to be watching us, but he had like some errands to run, so he just kind of left us, and we were like 5 years old. And
Oh my God.
but there was the two of us. We were in his room playing Mask, and it was like the coolest thing ever. And I remember just playing with Raven and thinking like, man, I want that. And so I got it for my birthday that year, but then again, got lost, got sold. And so I picked this up a few years ago.
That's
Super
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, what Gerry doesn't remember, his actual memory was playing with the guy from Child Protective Services while he waited for his dad to come back. But man, that guy loved Mask.
he was a cool
He was
dude,
so
man.
cool. Yeah.
Andy.
All right, now Joe, I don't want you to get jealous. What I have is many, many times cooler than your Lego spaceship.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's the
Fired.
Playmobil spaceship. Oh, yes.
Oh.
Playmobil outranks Lego
Playmobil.
on every measure.
No. Yeah.
We've had this debate for years, and Joe's just been wrong. What can you do?
Playmobil made some badass toys, Andy.
Hell yeah, they
did.
Even as an
Yeah,
even
they
as an
did.
adult, I'm looking at them in Barnes and Noble, and I'm like, I didn't know they made like a play
That's
set
right.
with seals and penguins. Holy crap!
The Playmobil DeLorean kicks the Lego
Whoa.
DeLorean's ass.
Oh,
I'll have
that's
that
cool.
until I die. Anyway,
That's
my
awesome.
parents got me the space set, and I played with this all the time. I loved that it was a spaceship, right? So you went to alien worlds. So you could, take it to the neighbor's yard. You could put it in the leaves. You could put it in the rocks. You could take it to the beach. I didn't do that too often.
Yeah,
But I
try
love
doing
it
that
had
with
the-
Lego. Not a chance.
The axle. See how the axles are just like flippity floppity like that?
Mhm.
So it really
Yeah.
could like do, all weather
yeah.
terrain, and then you can pop off the cockpit, and then lift up the door for some access, and then I love that sound right there.
Oh yeah.
yeah. That's tactile,
Oh
baby.
my
That
god!
brings
And then,
back-
and then
yeah.
the back hatch, the trunk. So I did sell this with all of my Star Wars toys. I turned 12, and there was like a churchyard sale, and I sold everything. I sold
Mm.
Fireball Island for like $5
Ah.
in the box. Anyway, again, during the pandemic, I was like, I have got to get back into my Playmobil space. So I tracked this down, and then I did eventually get the whole thing. I got the big saucer space station from the 80s that I never had.
Oh.
I was just
Wow.
piling them on. But I've got a very interesting tidbit for you. Playmobil's introduction to America was in a Happy Meal toy. And that Happy Meal toy ended up getting recalled because some of the pieces were determined to be small enough that small children would choke on
Choking
the
hazard.
accessory.
Yeah.
The
There were
Boba
never
Fett thing.
no kids actually choked on the pieces. It was a voluntary recall. But because of that toy, McDonald's has since offered a Happy Meal toy for children under the age of 3 as like a separate thing.
Ah.
So Playmobil is the reason why McDonald's offers a toy under the age of 3. But the Happy Meal, I know I got like the Indian guy or the cowboy or something. It came with a little booklet that promoted the space set. So I didn't know that at the time, but when I was
Wow.
like researching all this stuff, I do have a couple of the original McDonald's Happy Meal toys, and the booklet is "Look for Space coming out this fall" or whatever. And so I totally got the Happy Meal toy. And was like, "Oh, I need this space set."
Yeah,
And then my
stop
parents
selling
got me this space
Playmobil. I'm on. Shut up and take my money.
set. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
That's so
So-
cool.
Yes, Playmobil is the. That was
That's
the
cool,
one.
man.
That's it.
Mhm. All right, John,
Is it me?
it's you.
Well, I'm back to video games, and I this kind of bugged me because even though I was very into Nintendo, I think Sega was more my speed. I think maybe it was the age gap I kind of hit there. I remember like Mortal Kombat being the thing that
Heck
like
yeah.
was big for me. So I rebought. Oh, getting some notifications. I rebought the little mini Genesis.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
And I've been, it's hooked up to my TV here, and right now I'm playing Sonic 2.
Nice.
Wow.
That's all. I wish I had my my old games still, but I mean, you can get emulators for anything
Yeah.
now. None of
Yeah,
that stuff
yeah.
really mattered, except for that NES Advantage. I really want that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, take over.
Mine's
Yeah,
still
out of
not
my cold dead hands, John.
Now I'm just playing video games.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were doing something.
We're just recording a YouTube
You can't not
broadcast.
play
That's all.
Sonic. Hi.
Well, anyways, that's what we all got for Christmas. I'm sure there's other things. This was a lot of fun, sharing toys, talking about toys. Clearly, we've got a lot of comments and stuff, so people are really interested in talking about toys. So I'm going to have to do this again with other people as well, but maybe we'll
so.
revisit, maybe if you guys have other ideas and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. The all laser tag version.
So anyways, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Scott, where can people find you?
ChristmasMorningPodcast.com and TinselTunes.com. Would love to have you.
Great. And Gerry?
TotallyRadChristmas.com or linktree.com/TotallyRadChristmas.
Awesome. Andy?
MillionairePlayboy.com, celebrating its 22nd year of bringing you toys and pop
Holy crap.
culture. Oh yeah, we are OGs. And then I'm still working. Believe it or not, we're still working on our movie discussion podcast called Comment Lounge, available on all your favorite podcast platforms and YouTube. We've got like 2-3 episodes in the can, ready to come out and hit any day now. So stay tuned.
Awesome. And then John?
And I am from Hit or Miss Hallmark Movie Reviews, and we've been away for a very long time, but we are coming back eventually.
Yeah, you may not know this, John. They're still making Hallmark movies.
Yeah, I know. I think we've missed like
That's
60
right.
movies at this point. Well, 60 reviews at least.
Awesome.
It's more going to be about John getting his laser tag back and
I know.
doing a whole video about that.
Dude, there
Well.
should be a Hallmark movie
Oh.
where they
That's
Yeah,
what
I know.
that's what you do with your hit or miss. You have a laser tag, and then you try to to have 2 different of the receivers, and then one for if you liked it, one if you didn't,
That's
and you
right.
just shoot at it.
That's right, John. I'm coming to your house. We're going to play laser tag, and then we're going to look at like fold-out posters of Lacey Chabert. I mean, this is going to be a good afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for
Very nice hanging with
watching.
you guys.
Definitely
Thanks for the
check
invite.
all these guys out. These guys have great podcasts and YouTube channels. And then obviously check out Christmas Aficionado. Just released a Year in Christmas 1983. It's a very fun video. Gerry, you and I are going to be talking about that very soon. I'll be reaching out to you again.
awesome.
You know,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited for 82, Joe.
That's coming in a couple months. So, but 1983 is out right now. I've got a couple other videos in the works, but I'll I release them all year long. Check out all these podcasts and YouTube channels. Thank you for watching. And remember, stay off the naughty list.